This is a disclaimer, I do have Tourette's, so please excuse any bad language or obscene gestures. Yes. Welcome back. My name's Jim.
I'm Lou.
And we are Fields and Flocks. Coming up in today's episode.
As usual, each month we have done you another montage.
So that they could learn off Dillie. It's always interesting to see what wildlife's out.
Yeah, so good news and bad news. I'm really pleased this hive's done okay. They can...
So we got loads of honey. Hold my hands up, it was a mistake. So I've got a short nature cam for you. I'll be honest, as you saw at the start of the video, Dillie sadly passed. And in this nature cam, there is some loss of the footage of her running about. So it's a mixed emotions editing it, but it's not as big as the last one, but we thought we'd include it so you can have a little look yourself, because it's always interesting to see what wildlife's out. But there was hundreds of recordings this time, but it kept recording butterflies. So there were so many, just butterflies flying in, flying out. And
it catches a bit of grass in the wind in front and it picks up the movement, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But we had to go through it because otherwise it's like there might be something really interesting in there.
Yeah, because one time there was a fox in the middle of the day.
Not at night, wasn't it? It was day, so you really got to see it clearly. So yeah, you had to trial through it, didn't you? But
so we hope you enjoy. So yeah, as you know, guys, it's been rough losing Dillie, and it's been tough. We decided when we found out Dillie wouldn't be able to live a long time, we thought it would be wise to potentially get a puppy so that they could learn off Dillie. And Dillie loved other animals and dogs, so she would have been, you know, in her element with a new puppy, and we were almost hoping it would have given her a bit of a lease of life. And so we kind of then rushed into getting a puppy, because we were like, we need to get one before anything happens to Dillie or anything more happens to Dillie. And so it wasn't that we rushed getting one because we had decent-ish breeders that we were aware of, but it was that the right dog seemed available at the right time. And so then we were like, right, we've got to do it. And unusually, Louisa is normally the sensible one here, and would tell me no, but she was like, no, it probably is a good idea. You know, Dillie would have loved it. We'd done a lot of training with Dillie, so she could be like dogs learn from other dogs quite quickly, you know. But what we didn't expect was to pay the deposit, and then the next day, basically, Dillie passed, unfortunately. And so we've been hit with this guilt, or I personally have, of, am I replacing Dillie? Is it too soon to get a puppy? And I'm worried, like, maybe we've made the wrong call. I'm hoping we haven't, and we're gonna do our best. We've made the decisions now, and I'm sure once it comes, I'll feel completely different. But there is just like a guilt in the gut of my stomach where I just feel like, you know, maybe I should have waited. But you have the hope, don't you? And then you have the hope was that, you know, Dillie was going to live for a few years, and I weren't really entertaining any other thoughts, to be honest. I wasn't really willing to accept the truth, even though I knew it. And I think that getting a puppy was almost an extension of that for both myself and Lou. We wanted to carry on Dillie's legacy, and by getting another puppy to learn from her, we would have been able to do that. But things have obviously worked out how they've worked out, and the puppy's now arriving in, I think, 3 weeks. And so we're going to get ready for that. And I'm sure it'll be a welcome distraction. Me and Lou have got a lot of love to give, you know. So the puppy's going to get a lot of love. He's going to be a right part of the family. And I'm sure we'll end up loving it as much as Dillie. But I just don't want... I'm sure, you know, the point I'm trying to make is life goes on. And that in itself is hard. So I think, yeah, deep down, I'm not feeling as happy with getting as a puppy as I have in the past, but I don't think it's because of the puppy. It's just because of like what's happened with Dillie. But I'm sure once I get stuck in to training and raising a puppy, that, you know, it's not going to be much of a problem. So I know it's just what I've got to do, but I'll be lying if I said there weren't some guilt there. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. It was another heavy one. It's just been a heavy time. And with the puppy arriving, I am feeling...
It's mixed emotions, isn't it? It's really mixed.
But, you know, that's life, and that's what I was saying. So I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.
So we are coming to the end of July, and as usual, each month we have done you another montage to see how things are coming along.
I love the montages.
Yeah.
They're really nice. We hope you guys enjoy them. We know we get some good feedback.
They're nice for us to look back on, aren't they, and see how
Yeah.
things have changed. Because you, when you see things every day, you don't see them as much in a way,
No.
do you? The change and how things develop and come and go, and
they're fun to edit. You know, choosing the music and trying to get it in time. But we hope you enjoy them. Please, if you're liking the video, please leave a like, maybe a comment. And subscribe if you're not subscribed. It really helps the channel, and in the last few videos we've noticed this drastically because we've not been putting it in as much or just trying to put it in on the screen, and honestly guys, the likes have dropped. So while it's annoying, I think it does work. And so if you're on your TV, just reach over, grab the remote, press like for me.
do us a favour.
No, jokes aside, we would really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We never really understood when we were watching, and I'm not saying you guys don't, but how much those slight interactions like help the channel. And we've noticed with the nicer weather, those interactions have diminished, and it's partly our fault because we were not making a big deal of it. You don't want to make a big deal about it, but I wanted to be honest, and that's why I would appreciate it so much, because it really helps the channel. You think you're not doing anything, or you think, but actually liking, leaving a comment, it does really help.
I never realised till we made the videos.
Yes.
I was the culprit who'd never do anything. I've
noticed Lewis now leaving more comments and liking more stuff.
I'd watch a video and I'd really enjoy it, but you'd never know because I wouldn't comment, I wouldn't like, I'd just be like, yeah, in my head, that's a good video. Whereas now I appreciate it's kind of, yeah, it's just that quick few seconds, it does make a difference.
Next up, bees. But before we get into the bees, I just wanted to clarify and discuss a bit of off topic, but it's to do with me beating myself up and finding the videos. I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, you know.
Yeah.
You're noticing that I'm putting too much pressure. But I feel trying to get such a strict regime of Tuesdays, Sunday, or Thursdays, Sundays, some days, and then, you know, life throws you these curveballs. I am disabled. We are running the Smallholding.
And it's the summer holidays.
Yes. And it's the summer holidays. So I need to be a bit kinder to myself. And I hope you all understand, but we're gonna take the pressure off and just say we're going to release videos when we can release them. We're gonna do our best to try to get a weekly video, but that's where we're at the moment. And I feel like I'm always coming on here and being like, but we're new, we don't understand. We're not content creators. We're not. We're new to it. Well, we are content creators. We are making content, but I don't think we're refined. And
well, it's finding how you've got to find your feet first. Like eventually, we'll find a way that works for us, and we're in that step of finding what way of doing things works with everything else we've got going on.
So yeah, I just want to say sorry if I'm letting anyone down, because I feel like I am. And Lou's like, don't be ridiculous, Jim, but I feel like I am. And yeah, bees. So we had a bit of a hubba-dubba-lava.
Yeah, it's been, I've learnt a lot, which is good. So as you'll see in a moment, I go in and I check both hives to see how they're doing. So last time you saw us processing the chickens, and on that day, the bees decided to swarm. What we're going to show you now is me doing my first inspection since that swarm. On the day that we set a day where they should be eggs and all of that, shouldn't there, from the swarm? If they reared a queen themselves, you wait, was it a couple of weeks?
Yeah.
And by which point, if the queen has mated and come back and is laying, you should start to see signs of eggs, pupae, larvae, etc. So we'll show you that now. This frame has eggs towards the bottom here. And on this side, we have a little bit of capped brood and some larvae. So I've just done an inspection. Our first hive, which was originally the bigger hive, unfortunately is queenless. There's no eggs, no larvae. All the brood frames, which were very heavy, and last inspection were very, very full of pollen and honey, are like empty. They're very light, there's nothing in them. So we're going to need to get a mated queen for this one, and then they should, touch wood, be okay. What was the smaller hive, the second one, is actually doing all right. I can see eggs, I can see larvae at numerous different stages. I got quite excited because there was a few patches of small capped brood on the outer frames, but in the middle there was patches about this big of solid brood. So it would seem that they have sorted themselves out, they've got a queen and are happy. So what I've done with that one is the brood box is still quite full, so I've left the super box on there, which hasn't got much going on, but I'm thinking as she starts to lay more eggs, that could fill up as the season goes on. So I'll leave that just so they've got plenty of room. Yeah, so good news and bad news. I'm really pleased this hive's done okay. They can carry on growing over the rest of the season. It's just going to be a case of getting a mated queen for this particular hive. So the first hive, which originally was doing the wasp. Initially, there was loads of stores, loads of pollen, typical sign for swarming. However, this time, all of those stores within the brood box had pretty much depleted. They were very light frames, nothing in there. It was kind of just bees busying around with a few bits of pollen, I would say. I couldn't find a queen, no sign of eggs, larvae, nothing. So on that basis, I took half of the top super frames off and we got a little bit of honey from them.
Yeah, because you don't want to leave more hive than the colony can handle. So, you know, you had to take off that super and the honey inside it, because otherwise wasps or bugs would be able to get in wasps, and overpower the bees. We've
got a lot of wasps at the minute and I don't want them going in and then the bees having to attack them and damaging the colony anymore. So I left them enough frames in, took some out, so we got a little bit of honey. They've got plenty of stores left, and we contacted the gentleman we get the bees from to say, look, we don't think there's a queen in there. The other hive, however, has successfully reared their own queen, which was great to see. There's really good brood pattern happening. There was eggs, larvae, pupae. It was all looking good, and a nice amount of bees still left in there. So they should continue to thrive nicely.
Yeah.
So we now have a new mated queen in the first hive. And at the minute, she's just in her little...
The guy we got the bees from, he actually... I think he felt a bit sorry for us, so he came and dropped round very kindly a mated queen that we could add to our hive.
Yeah. Now, upon checking that, he did a thorough look, and we did actually find a virgin queen in that hive, which then gave the predicament of, do we keep that queen? But she wasn't mated. And I questioned him here because I said, is it too late? If she's not mated, is she likely to go out and mate, do a mating flight, and then start laying? Now, it's a little bit late in the season. So had we left her, you're kind of risking that whole colony dying and failing if she doesn't get back in time. So on the basis he had a mated queen, we made the decision that we would put the mated queen in, sadly dispatch the virgin queen, and at that point we know she's going to go straight in, she's going to start laying, and that colony can thrive and give them a really good chance to survive over winter. So she's in a little cage at the minute, hanging from one of the bars, and tomorrow I am going to peel off the cap. The bees will chew through some fondant and she will come out, and then she will be part of the colony.
I present to you Hunions. On the back of the bees and getting some honey, we had to process it, and that was a bit of a experience because we haven't yet got any tools, have we?
No.
And on the same time as Lou was doing that, we were trying to sort out our onions. So we had two different things going on. Now the onions, we had a bit of a fail. We've left them a bit too long and they were really hard to plait. So we have had to just leave them whole and loose, but we got a good harvest overall and they cured well and they're delicious.
Yeah, I think the issue with the plaiting is that one, the onions were too big, so the weight was too much, and that the leaves or the stalks had dried too much. So the balance of the dried stalks and the weight of the onions, it wouldn't work, would it? Yeah.
And then the honey, we basically, well, we'll show you. So we don't have any fancy equipment, so what we're going to do is just get a masher, and I'll be sitting here mashing this for hours, and then I'll pop it through a muslin cloth and collect the honey that way.
More honey. Have you added more honey?
Should I shoot it in slow-mo?
Yeah, because this front bit looks good.
So we got loads of honey. This is absolutely huge. I'm going to be mashing it now and mashing it. Hey, wanker! Yes! I'm going to be mashing it now and then we're going to be filtering it. But we weren't expecting to get any, but we needed to take this basically because the colony wasn't strong enough. But yeah, absolutely amazing. So I'm just scooping the mixture into a muslin cloth. There's over a colander, over a bowl. Don't know if this is the right thing to do, but it should work.
We filled the colander as much as we can. We haven't got a bigger one, unfortunately, so we're just going to sit and wait for the honey to come out the bottom. It has begun to come through, but being thick, obviously it's a little bit slow, so we're going to leave it for half an hour, come back and check it, and then slowly add it. But I think once the honey has passed through the muslin, we should get it all in there.
So we tried to plat them, but maybe they were too far gone and they didn't plat as well as the garlic. So we're going to have to store them in some bags in the cool room or in the garage. But no, a good haul, a good haul. My gosh, is it good, Lou, isn't it?
It's lovely. We did this process last year with less frames, didn't we?
Yeah.
And I made the mistake of I smoked the hive too much to try and get the bees away, and therefore a bit of the smoky taste did actually transfer to the honey, which I
liked it.
You liked it. I was just like, I could just taste smoke. I could taste it. It kind of ruined it for me, didn't it?
I thought it kind of was like honey with a hint of smokiness. I liked it.
But this year, and whenever I've checked them, I've tried. I think because I'm getting more comfortable around them, I have tried not to smoke them unless I absolutely
You're getting really
need to.
calm now, aren't you?
I'm getting much more comfortable. So unless I have it there, the smoker, but I only have it and use it if I absolutely need it. Sometimes it will be lit the whole time and I won't need it. And I haven't so far really this year. And I've really noticed it because the honey flavour it's delicious, isn't it? It's really lovely.
It tastes like what I imagine a wildflower meadow would taste like.
It's
doesn't it?
florally,
it's
isn't
very
it?
florally.
Yeah.
It's absolutely delicious. And hopefully we'll have so much in the future that you'll be able to try some yourself. But this year it's all for us. Okay, as well as the montage from earlier in the video, we wanted to kind of just do a little update on the veg and how that's doing, because we've had a few harvests now, like the garlic, the onions, the potatoes, the cauliflower, the brassicas. So the beds are looking quite different and we're getting some ready for next year already. So let's go to have a look at that.
Yeah. So firstly, on the beds, we have been pulling up potatoes, we've harvested the garlic and all of the onions. We've began lifting the carrots, which are a little bit early, but we're going to take those through until they have to be dug up and put into storage. The squashes are coming along nicely. We've also taken up cabbages, cauliflowers. We've put some new ones in to grow up towards winter time. And the second flush of asparagus has done really well,
yes.
Isn't it? We got a second flush of asparagus, which both have performed really well. So another 1.5 to 2 years, and we should start to get crop from those.
We were worried about our tomatoes and peppers, weren't we? We knew we'd failed peppers before we even got the year started, really.
Yeah.
But they've done okay. Next year we're going to attack them completely different. But the tomatoes.
Yeah, well, the peppers and the tomatoes, it's been the heat. We had a real good patch of weather early on and the polytunnel just got too hot that everything struggled. The peppers, if the plants were just a little bit too small, they just frazzled, so only the bigger ones survived. The tomatoes, they've grown height-wise, but it's the fruit production. They seem to have struggled, and we thought, again with the humidity, we thought there might have been what was potentially a bit of blight, so we've been spraying them and really trying to get on top of it.
But we've had good results with is it bicarb spray, weren't it?
Yes.
So we've been spraying bicarb on them and they've really started to come to life now.
Yeah.
And we're a bit more hopeful that we might actually get a fairly decent harvest,
the weather's calmed down
later on in the year. It might be going into October, but they're starting to really put on some growth.
Yeah, it's coincided, luckily, spraying them with slightly cooler weather. So I think it's given them a bit of reprieve to hopefully boost them back up. And yeah, we were hoping for a really good harvest. So it's not great yet, but there's still time.
Now in the fruit cage, the cherry trees have just exploded with growth. They've done fantastic. We've more or less got all the fruit. There's a few blueberries and some tayberries still coming through, but we have picked the bulk of the fruit now. But the growth on the cherry trees is really encouraging because they barely grew last year at all.
They struggled,
but it was obviously their roots were just getting in. They've hit a happy place because we're going to have to do some serious training with them so they don't get out of hand.
But the berries overall, the fruit cage has done really, really well. We've had good harvests. They've all grown well. And I think it's that we're past that initial first year of planting. So they're all getting a bit established. And yeah, they've performed really, really nicely.
Then with my other root vegetables that I was growing, the tubers that I was trying, my yacon are doing really well. I probably planted them too close together, so something to know for next year, but they're really doing well. The Jerusalem artichoke is crazy. Some of it's got to be nearly 7 foot tall, if not taller now. I'll stand next to it in a shot and you'll see. It's tall. And then the skirret, looking forward to that. It's done all right, but it has been getting diseased. The fresh growth looks okay and the flowers flowering, so I'm hoping it makes it all the way, but it isn't looking as healthy. I say the yacon's doing great, isn't it?
No, the yacon took a while, didn't it? Initially we were a bit like,
the frost damaged it to start with.
That was it. Yeah.
And
but once it took off, now it's really growing now, isn't it? It's doing really well.
Grapes been absolute disappointment. Obviously we've already mentioned the peaches, but the grapes have been absolute disappointment, and we're going to have to really look into some ways of pruning it, both now and in the spring, to try and maximise some growth, because we've got one bunch of grapes growing out of all of it.
We wonder if we're doing something wrong because the first year we had such a good harvest, and these last two times the leafy growth's there, isn't it? It's just not getting the actual bunches, so there must be something we're doing at either the wrong time or the wrong way that's preventing that fruit from growing, because otherwise it seems quite happy, doesn't it? It comes back flourishing every year, but with no grapes.
Then into the old polytunnel, I must admit, guys, there are a lot of dying plants in here. I think you remember when some of you remember when I spent a bit of money. I had £100 birthday or whatever it was, and I spent it on plants, and they've all died because I kind of bit off more than I could chew. I got enough going on without having to learn the particulars of these plants.
You bought fussy tropical plants, didn't you?
And hold my hands up, it was a mistake, and I failed there. Thank you for joining. Don't forget to leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. We really appreciate you getting to the end, and we'll see you in the next one.